Have you ever thought of starting your own business? Making your life your own? Now's the time. To get started. Welcome back to Starting a Business Simplified. I'm your host, Suzy Wraines, with Business Simplified. And this episode, I want to talk to you about the CEO versus employee mindset. Before I dive into that, though, if you have not yet joined the Starting a Business Simplified podcast listener Facebook community, click on the link in the show notes and come join us over there. In the community, I share behind the scenes what's happening in my business, give you additional tips and things that you may not be catching on the podcast. And we have our guest speakers come in and they're live with me in there. You can network and get support from other entrepreneurs that are in there and just have more of a community. You're listening to this right now or watching it on YouTube and Spotify, and I don't get to interact with you. So in the community, you get to interact with me, ask me questions, find out what's going on, and have a more community feel for the podcast. So I'd love to see you in there. Let's dive into the episode. So today, what has come up for me is on part of my healing journey was being aware of how it is that I show up in my business. I have been in corporate for over 15 years. Before this, I was in the Army as a medic. I've worked in hospitals. I've worked in these giant organizations. And the reason that I say that is because I want to speak today about the CEO mindset, taking on the identity of a CEO versus an employee mindset where we are, as employees, we're getting orders. So if you worked in the medical field, I worked in a hospital and I worked in the Army. So I took orders. When you're working in a medical situation, you're always taking orders from somebody. So if you're the doctor, then you're getting orders from the people above you, whatever that is. If you're a nurse or supporting staff, you're taking orders from the doctors and from people who work for the nurses, as nursing aides and things like that. You're taking orders from the nurses. So we're always taking orders from somebody. When you're the CEO, you make the decisions. You show up and you say, what needs to happen in this business for it to be successful? And you're the one that is saying, okay, I'm giving the orders. I'm in charge. So I'm going to step back a little bit. And I did do an episode with this comparison before, and I'm going to say it again because repetition always helps. Your business is not you. Even if your business is your name. My website right now is SuzyWraines.com. I am not my business and my business is not me. Business Simplified is its own entity. It's its own thing. I'm Suzy Wraines, founder. I created it and I'm in charge of it. So even if you use your name as your business, it's not you. You are not your business. You might be the spokesperson. You might be the face of it. I'm the host of Starting a Business Simplified, and people know Suzy Wraines. But future, let's fast forward into the future. I'm the CEO and founder of this company right now. And in the future, I might have somebody else who does the podcast. Starting a Business Simplified podcast could be hosted by somebody else. And they are the face of Business Simplified. So I wanted to make that distinction because when we first get started, even if you name your business something else, so like the name of my business is Business Simplified LLC. I just recently, last year, established as an LLC. You don't have to do that right out of the gate. It's something that you want to make a decision about for the future of your business. So I'm not going to go down that path today because that's a whole nother conversation. I'm going to stick with the CEO mindset. So if you think, okay, a CEO is the decision maker. I'm not going to say they're up here and employees are down here. We're like this, employees and CEOs. And I'm on video. For those of you listening, I'm saying the CEO is not above anybody. I'm showing it with my hands. because I know some of you are listening to audio only and you can't see me. YouTube people and those of you on Spotify with video, I'm showing you my hands. Okay. So the employee is not below the CEO. Nobody is, and that organizational charts do that. They show the CEO at the top and then it trails down, trickles down to it. We are all together holding the company up. The CEO is just the leader. The CEO is actually making the decisions and saying, we need to do XYZ in order to be successful, in order to accomplish the goals that we've set for the organization. So when you step into the CEO mindset and you take on that identity, so when I say I'm the CEO of Business Simplified LLC, all of a sudden the decisions are different. If I'm making the decisions as Suzy Wraines, employee who works at Business Simplified, I'm not going to be making decisions the same. I'm going to be making them from a smaller mindset of, I don't have enough money, or I'm not really sure, or should I do this? And the doubt's going to come in because I'm thinking smaller. I'm thinking from a smaller perspective. The CEO is a visionary. They have the whole big picture mapped out in their head. They're like, yep, this is where we're going. This is how we're going to get there. These are the things that need to happen. And they think differently. So when I shifted and started thinking like a CEO, this is what it looks like. When clients hire me, they're hiring me as an employee. So I'm doing the job. So I'm coaching as an employee. I'm like the star employee because I'm the only employee. I'm the one that's actually, doing the work. But as a CEO, the CEO decides what is it that we're selling? So what program or what mentorship? So I'm starting a new mentorship. It is the Business Success Accelerator. And this is where I am, and Suzy, the CEO, designed this. She said, okay, how can we reach our clients in a way that's going to bring them success? It's going to give them results quickly, and they are going to explode their business. They're going to have all the foundations they need, and they're going to move forward, and they're going to grow and scale, and it's going to be amazing. The CEO thought of that. Now the CEO says, okay, now I need the employees to do the work. So what do we need to do to sell this? We need to talk about where are we going to market it? Who are we going to talk to? Who would be ideal to purchase this service? So the CEO is thinking at that level. Now, when it's just you by yourself, so for those of you who are not working in a big organization or haven't worked in a big organization, you're like, I'm just starting by myself. Or maybe you're coming from an organization, you're like, I'm just starting. I have to do everything. How do I not think like an employee? You want to shift your brain. I know that sounds weird, but there's times when you go, am I doing the work or am I deciding what happens in the company? That's how you can disconnect your brain. When I'm with a client and I'm talking to them and I'm coaching them and we're working together, my employee mindset is on because I'm doing the job. I'm like, here I am for you. I'm going to do this the best possible way I can. We're in it together. We're doing the job. We're doing the thing. As soon as I hang up with that client, I shift and go, okay, am I making decisions right now? Am I deciding my pricing? Am I deciding where I show up? Am I deciding that I want to have a podcast? Am I deciding what to do with the podcast? What's the reason to have a podcast? That's all CEO thinking. The employee thinking for a podcast is, do we have a schedule set up for the episodes? And they take on the actions. Okay, we need to have a schedule. We need to figure out what we're going to talk about. When I started this episode, I have a list, and I did an episode recently of what the tools I use. I'm using Asana to schedule out my podcast. I looked on the list and I was like, oh, we're talking about CEO mindset today on this podcast I'm recording. Beautiful. That's what I'm going to record. That's an employee. And this podcast, me recording it and talking to you guys about all this stuff, I'm an employee right now. I'm doing the podcast. Yes, I am the CEO of Business Simplified and I am in charge of everything, but I have to switch between the two. But I have to know when and how I'm switching in between the two. When you're in a CEO mindset, you're building this business. When you're an employee, you're working in it. You cannot. So let me clarify. You make the decisions, but you have to make the decisions from what's best for your business. And then you execute. What happens is a lot of people, they do all the things and they try to make the decisions from an employee mindset. And then they don't understand why things aren't moving, why we aren't growing, why am I not getting bigger, why am I not scaling? And it's because you've succumbed to the doing, we're just going to do, and not the vision of how to make the decisions in order to get the people to come. I should be replacing myself. Now, I am right now the spokesperson of Business Simplified, and I do this podcast, and I'm going to continue to do it for a really long time. Someday, though, I'm going to hire somebody to come in and say, they're the host of Starting a Business Simplified, and they're going to follow the brand, and I'm going to pay them, and they're going to come in, and this is going to be their job. That's a CEO mindset. If I'm like, okay, for the rest of my life, forever and ever, as long as I live, until my business goes out, I'm going to be the host of Starting a Business Simplified. I'm just going to sit here every day and do this. That's not the best use of my time if I'm growing and scaling and expanding. I can be the host as long as I want to be, but I get to decide. And I can structure the business to where I replace me as a host. And there's somebody else that comes in. And maybe it's somebody that's better than me. Ooh, yes, we can be replaced with better people. I just had hired my husband to do all of my editing and all of my marketing and everything for the podcast. I just handed it off to him like, I'm not doing this anymore. And he took it and he's running with it and he's doing it better than I could. And same goes for anything. Hired a bookkeeper. I was doing my own bookkeeping. That was, again, employee. I'm in here doing my own bookkeeping. Hired a bookkeeper and her team, and they do a way better job than I do. And they're handling all that. And so it frees me up to make more decisions. As you get bigger and bigger and bigger, you step away and you make the decisions. And you're like, yep, I need to hire somebody for that. And I'm going to hire somebody for that. And I'm going to show up and I'm going to do what it is that's my genius. My genius is coaching, being with my clients, and working with them on them growing their business. And then I'm probably going to hire a team that helps them. So they're going to do the coaching with me. They're going to sit with me and go, yep, this is what I needed. Suzy's got the coaching. I'm shifting. I'm healing. I'm growing. I'm expanding. I'm doing all these things. And then I may have somebody on my team that helps them with their back office, that helps them move forward with other things. But we have to grow and scale to do that. So in order to do that, you have to shift into a CEO mindset and know when to be there. When you're there, you're thinking like a decision maker. If I make this decision, these things are going to happen. We're going to move forward. And then you decide, oh, I need to be the one to take this task and this task, but I'm going to go hire somebody for that one. And as you start doing that, you, as the CEO of the business, you start to peel yourself back, and then you start hiring to fill those things, and then you don't do them anymore. And pretty soon you have a self-running business running all by itself, and you show up when you want to, and you show up when you want to make a decision. You might even hire people to make the decisions for you. And then you're just getting paid because you created it. You are the founder of this business. So hopefully this resonated with some of you. It wasn't too much for some of you that are brand new, just getting started. I do want to tell you, when you first start out and it's just you get to do everything. And I'd say you get to do everything instead of I have to do everything. You get to make the decisions. You get to say no, which is a complete sentence, to anybody and everybody. You don't have to work for somebody else. You do not have to. You get to pick the clients you work with. How's that? You don't just take anybody that'll pay you. I pick and choose. I want people to come work with me as their coach who are driven and they want to start a business and they're dedicated and they're committed. My new mentorship is a year long. For those of you that are curious, if you want to hear about the mentorship, click on the link in the show notes and schedule a call with me, because it's amazing. Like, you are going to start your business within the first 90 days. You're going to be taking clients. You're going to be doing your business, and you're going to be with me for 12 months. And we're going to stay together. It's co-creating. your business to be successful so you can scale. That's what I'm doing. And I'm doing it with people who are dedicated. But guess what? You have to apply. You have to tell me, you have to be ready. And that's where I am. That's the place that 2.5 years, when I started 2.5 years ago, I was ready. I was like, nope, I'm pulling out all the stops. I'm going to do whatever it takes to do this business. And now I'm 2.5 years later, thriving, doing amazing, loving every minute of it. And I'm still growing and I'm still expanding and I'm going to keep going. And so that's the kind of client that I look for. I look for people who are like, yep, I heard you on your podcast and I want to work with you. Those are the people that I want to work with, because those are the people who are going to stick it out, the roller coaster of emotions. If you haven't listened to the podcast episode yet, go find that one, because it's up and down. Life happens. You're going to go in and out, up and down. It's going to change. And guess what? You have somebody with you on this roller coaster ride. That is me. When you sign up to work with me with the mentorship. So for those of you that are interested, I would love to talk to you more. You can schedule a call with me. Click on the link in the show notes. It is the Business Success Accelerator Mentorship with me and with a community of other people who are starting out together. We're all doing it together. It's one-on-one coaching with me combined with group accountability. It's amazing. And I already have clients that are so excited to get started. So I'd love to see you in there. Click on the show notes and let me know that you want to join. So to sum all this up, what is the takeaway from this episode? When you sit down to do a task in your business, or if you're just getting started, you can make a list. One list on the left, one list on the right. List on the left, CEO. List on the right, employee. List on the left, you're going to write out all the things that require a decision. You have to make a decision. What bank are you going to use? Decision. What's your service? Decision. How much are you going to price it? Decision. What type of people do you want to work with? Decision. Those are all CEO thinking. And then you're going to go on the right and you're going to write out the tasks that are required once that decision is made. So what bank are you going to use? Who's going to set that up? That's an employee. They have to go to the bank, make the account, set it up. Payment processor, which one are you going to use? Decision. Who's going to set that up? Employee. They're going to go set up that payment processor. All of the things that you make a decision on, there's going to be a task that goes with it. Those are going to go on the employee side. When you decide what service you provide, who's going to set that up? What does that look like? Who's going to work with the clients? That's an employee. So make your list. And then when you're sitting down to do the task, ask yourself, am I thinking like a CEO right now, or am I thinking like an employee? And then you can go into that frame of mind, and it's going to change the trajectory of the success of your business. Any questions that you have, please reach out anytime. Join the community, Starting a Business Simplified podcast listener community over on Facebook. Would love to have you in there. Please come join us. If you're like, Suzy, you just lost me. Like, I'm totally confused. Come on over to the community and you can hop in there and ask questions, get clarification, raise your hand, schedule a call with me, all the things. I am here for you. This is what I've dedicated my life to. As always, for all of you listening out there, keep it simple.